Today's next Tuesday. We'll be working on the Gatekeeper. I've seen several posts about people breaking off those hinges on the nose cone. So that's what we're gonna make. We're gonna make a new nose piece. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a bumper and new hinge point. So I'm going to use some universal bumper tab with a D-ring hole, just so I have a toe point if I want to do a toe strap on there. And then I'm also going to use tab number 11. These are going to be for my hinges. So these are going to bolt like that. I'm going to do 4 on a bar. It's going to go across, and I'm going to do 2 on the new nose cone. So I'm going to take the rod. It's going to be the width of the front end. We're going to slide the 4 of these on there loose. We're going to have 4 on the bottom, 2 on the top, kind of like how it is now. And then we're going to get these set up on there, and then we're going to bolt it to the chassis and tack it so we get the right width. So set it up just like that. You have all 4. Alright, so we bolted it up, welded it, and then I also added a couple tacks on the bottom. See those there, just for a little extra support. So these are trapped. That's why I was making sure to show. It's very important you put these on before you weld the ends. Alright, so let's get the body set up on there so we can get everything lined up. And the body is very shiny. Well, I made this body over the weekend. Let me take the hood off. There's just a lot of reflection. Okay, so got everything pretty much lined up here. I think we're just going to unscrew the stock nose and go from there. Okay, so this is where our hinges are going to be. This is the first time I've made something for the Gatekeeper like this. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is, next to all these holes there's a little nub. I think I'm going to just chop those nubs off with an X-Acto, because I think we're going to use the existing holes to bolt the new nose on. Alright, so what I've decided to do for mounting is I actually had some 1/4 inch tubing. This is not the 035 wall, this is some thinner stuff that I had. What I'm going to do is screw it to the existing chassis with the stock screws, and then get some tubes chopped up to see exactly how I'm going to get it all lined up. So these are going to be the connecting points. Use all the stock locations, and there you go. Alright, with everything attached, I'm going to measure this width at the center point. Because what I'm going to do is, after I cut that, I'm going to notch the tubing. So this is the 3/16 mild steel, available on the website. Be sure to check it out. If you haven't used this stuff before, it's a lot less messy and gross than using brake line. And the price is about the same, but the wall thickness is a bit more in comparison. And you don't have to deal with any Teflon fumes. Well, I cut this one a little bit too short for the bottom, so turn it into the top. So when it comes to the fitment, you don't want to have it splaying out. I don't know if you can see it on the right side there, splaying out. So just gonna sit there and use a 3/16 diameter round file and just kind of file the fit. That's where everything looks the best, is when it's right where it needs to be. This just needs a little bit more, super close. I'd even be okay with it being a hair on the underside. Yeah, it's still splayed out. Because we're going to braze this. Well, I'm going to tack it. I'll show you how I do this. I'm going to tack it in like an easy to manage spot. And then we're going to braze it. A little bit more. Okay, so as you can see, I have fish mouth the lowers, fish mouth the uppers, and that's, I think, gonna be where we start tacking it together a little bit. Alright, so I've got the 3/16 centered on these little standoffs that we've made, and I'm just gonna tack the top on both corners. Now the reason I'm going to tack the top is because when we go back and braze it, this is going to be a very easy to file down location for any tack welds. That was not easy, but it's tacked in. The hinges are still loose, but now this is connected and these two bars are connected. The hinge feature still works, so we're still going to be able to hinge it. So now I'm just going to set the alignment of how wide I want those hinges and then get it tacked up. So I want to be able to access these screws. That's going to be the next tricky part. Alright, so I've got the ground on the bumper, and I'm actually using my IERC wrench as my gauge here to set the width for how far apart my hinges are going to be. Alright, so got this tacked up on the top and on the bottom. So we got our hinge nice and functional, not slopping around. I'm going to add just a simple bar to the corner here and to the corner here out of that tubing. Stay tuned.